Through the darkness, through the fire, through my wicked heart's desire, your love remains. Your love remains. Though I stumble, though I falter, through my weakness, you are strong, your love remains. Your love remains. Oh my soul it cries. Oh my soul it cries out. Soul it cries out. Soul it cries out. Through my failure, through my heartache, through my healing, in my pain, your love remains. Your love remains. Though I stumble, though I falter, through my weakness, you are strong, your love remains. Your love remains. Oh my soul it cries. Oh my soul it cries out. Soul it cries out. Soul it cries, it cries, it cries, it cries out.
Welcome back, everybody. Today is the last day of our Week of Prayer series of Under Pressure. I'm going to go straight ahead and get into it. One of the stories that really hits home for me is the story in 1 Kings chapter 19 with Elijah. Just as a quick review, Elijah had just had this huge victory. Elijah had just gone through this huge win where he takes on the prophets of Baal and all that happens. But then he goes into this weird suicidal phase. He goes through a depression, he gets sad, he gets scared, he runs away, and then God tells him to go into a cave. I imagine Elijah in the cave, he's feeling all sort of feelings. He's feeling scared because people are going out to kill him. He feels depressed because he feels in some way, even though he just experienced a victory, he's experiencing failure. And most importantly, he's experiencing loneliness. He even says to God, Lord, I'm the only one. And in the cave, God tells him to go outside and to meet him and to look for signs, and then he sees three things. He sees a great wind that is breaking up the mountains, he sees a fire, and he sees an earthquake. But then the Bible says 3 times God was not in that. God wasn't in the fire, God wasn't in the wind, and God was not in the earthquake. But it says God was in the whisper. Now when you whisper, what do you have to do to whisper? To hear somebody whisper, you have to get close. It says God was not in the earthquake, God was not in the fire, and God was not in the wind. The pressure we're talking about today is when you feel like you're in the cave. Call that cave loneliness, call that cave depression, call the cave seeing yourself as less, whatever it may be. I think a lot of us can relate to Elijah. And I think in our lives, when we feel silence, when we feel alone, when we feel by ourselves, when we feel that we're a failure, when we feel like we're not where we want to be, and we blame ourselves and we hit ourselves over the head over it, we feel like we're in a cave, we feel like we're in a rut, we feel we're at rock bottom. God says he was in the whisper. Something somebody said about this verse is God whispers because he's close. He's not in the fire, he's not in the earthquake, he's not in the wind. Sometimes we want that. We say, God, where are you? God, where are you in my life? Look at what's happening in my life. Nothing is happening, or maybe everything is happening. Show me fire, show me an earthquake, show me a great wind. Show me something to know that you are there. But actually, pressure shows us it's quite the opposite. That when we are in that cave, when we're in that hole in our lives, when we're in the silent moments, when we're going from senior year to college and we don't know what we're going to do with our lives, and we feel like we're lost, and we feel like you don't know what's going to happen for the future. I still feel that today. But it's in those moments of pressure, it's in that moment where you're challenged to realize God whispers because he is close. God isn't showing himself through some grand moment or some grand experience. God is trying to show you he's there through his silence. Just because your life is silent right now doesn't mean God isn't speaking. And so for you guys at home, and during this moment of silence, maybe a moment of chaos too, depending on what's going on in your life, it's in this moment, in this pressure, that you realize that God is close by. So wrestle with that silence. Since this is our last day, I just want to read our verse one last time. In James chapter 1, verse 12, again it says, "Blessed is the one who perseveres under pressure, because having stood the test, that person will receive the crown of life that the Lord has promised to those who love him." Something God does with Elijah after the cave, after his experience, and after Elijah hears the whisper, I think it's crazy how God immediately sends him right back to work. And I think that's how God sees us. Is he knows you're going through a cave right now. He knows you're going through depression. He knows you're going through loneliness. He knows you're going through a rut and this rock bottom feeling in your world. But God believes in you. He believed in Elijah that this is just a bump in the road. This is just a hindrance to your whole path. Don't let this one moment define your entire life. Let this moment be a moment of pressure, a moment of change, a moment of growth. God believes in you. And so it's not about so much believing as yourself, because you have a God who already believes in you. Thank you guys all for joining us in this wonderful series. I hope you enjoyed the past 5 videos. Shout out to Amanda Ladia for making all these videos and listening to all my mess ups and ums. I'm definitely not, this is my first time doing videos, but I really enjoyed going on this journey with all of you. So thank you all for listening. I'll see you whenever quarantine goes. Take care.